Everybody, it's Friday Family Story Time. I'm Miss Stephanie and I have some really fun new books to read with you today. Some really cool stuff I found while I was at the library. So let's get started by warming our hands up and then waving hello to each other. We wave hello like this. We wave hello like this. To all our friends at story time, we wave hello like this. Hello. Look at what I found. It's Macca the Alpaca by Matt Cosgrove. We read the other one that had the pink cover. What was it called? I can't remember. Something like a stack of alpacas, maybe? This must be the first one. I remember it was so fun and it rhymed. So here's Macca. This guy is called Macca. He's an alpaca. He loves splashing in puddles and gives the best cuddles. Macca's days were carefree, filled with giggles and glee until drama. A llama. That guy is called Harmer. He's no charmer. He's tall, strong, and woolly, but also a bully. Oh, he kicked him. Harmer was mean, quite the worst you have seen. He took Macca's stuff and played very rough. You puny pipsqueak, I'm strong and you're weak. Macca said, No, you're wrong. I'm surprisingly strong. The pair made a bet and a challenge was set. I'll move this boulder, Harmer pushed with his shoulder. He huffed, puffed, and nudged till it finally budged. When Macca's turn came, he just used his brain. Look, he made a lever. Well, why don't you try to reach up this high? Easily done using this. Harmer let out a hiss. Look, Macca climbed up a ladder. Now that llama was fuming, his nasty mind was zooming. Okay, let's have a race. Try and keep pace. First to the top is the best. Full stop. They took off in a flash and began their mad dash up the steep mountainside, but then the rocks started to slide. Being nimble and light, Macca made it all right. As he leapt to the summit, he saw Harmer plummet. He's falling down. Some might call it karma, as that bully of a llama went crash, bang, and splat. And that, my friends, was that. Harmer said plainly shaken. Turns out I was mistaken, for you've proved it quite clearly. Size doesn't matter, really. Macca went up to the thug and gave him a great big hug. I guess he learned his lesson, and that's the end. That's silly. That Macca the alpaca is super, super silly. Well, look, do you guys know Maisie by Lucy Cousins? Lucy Cousins has a new book called Let's Play Monsters, and it has her signature, really bright, fun art style, and I thought it would be fun to read it. Let's play monsters. My name is Gabriel, and I am 3. I like to play with monsters, but they can't catch me. Come on, Josie, I want to play. You chase me, and I'll run away. You be a monster who's green and scary, with sharp, pointy teeth and feet that are hairy. Look, she has fuzzy slippers on. Munch, crunch, scrunch, I'll eat you for my lunch. Hee hee hee, but you can't catch me. She turned into that monster. That's funny. Come on, Uncle Rufus, I want to play. You chase me and I'll run away. You be a monster who's very, very big, with horns like a cow and a tail like a pig. Oink, oink, moo, I'm chasing you. Hee hee hee, but you can't catch me. Aren't those pictures fun? Come on, kitty cat, I want to play. You chase me and I'll run away. You be a monster with long, sharp claws, all scritchy and scratchy on your big yellow paws. Hiss, hiss, roar! Wow! I'll chase you out the door. Hee, hee, hee! But you can't catch me. Come on, Nona, I want to play. You chase me and I'll run away. You be a monster made of bright pink jelly with big round eyes and feet that are, can you guess? Rhymes with jelly. Smelly. Slop, slap, slurp. I'll gobble you up. It must say slop, slap, slop. I'll gobble you up. Hee, 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 but you can't catch me. Come on, flower, I want to play. You chase me and I'll run away. You be a monster with a big yellow nose and long green arms and muddy brown toes. Fi-fo-fum. Oh my gosh. I'll tickle your tum. Hee hee hee, but you can't catch me. Come on, mommy, I want to play. You chase me and I'll run away. You be a monster with spikes on your back who eats little boys with your teeth that are black. Gobble, gobble, gulp, I'll eat you up. Hee hee hee, but you can't catch me. Oh, yes, I can. I'll gobble your toes and I'll nibble your nose. Now, you be a monster with a funny green head who is tired and sleepy and ready for bed. Monster kisses 1, 2, 3. I love you and you love me. And look, there they are as monsters. So on the beginning end pages, it was his family, and on the end and at the end, the end papers, they're monster forms. That's pretty cute. I love Lucy Cousins. All right, I have another book called Outside Inside, and it's new too, and super pretty. I'm excited to share it with you. Let's see. Inside, outside. Something strange happened on an unremarkable day just before the season changed. Everybody was outside. Everybody that was outside, oops, I missed something. Everybody who was outside went inside. Everyone, everywhere, all over the world. Everyone just went inside, shut their doors, and waited. Well, almost everyone. Some people needed to be, you see, hospital workers and the firefighters and the postal service, where they needed to be. They all had to go to work. Outside, the sky was quiet, but the wind still blew, and the birds kept singing. Raccoons came out and squirrels played in the streets, but the cars stayed away. The world felt a little bit different. Did you notice that? Inside, we baked and cooked, made music and watched TV. We read and played games. Some of us worked a little, some of us worked a lot, and some of us couldn't work at all. We felt a little different. Outside there were fences, both real and pretend. Swings sat still and slides were lonely. Bells didn't ring and halls were empty. We had birthdays without parties, shared words without sounds, and reached each other without touching. The world was changing a tiny bit outside. Inside we waited and we worried, we laughed and we cried and we tried to breathe. We made things together and did things alone. We hoped and prayed and wished. We were all changing a tiny bit inside. Outside, the world kept growing. Inside, we kept growing too. She's getting measured. So why did we all go inside? Well, there were lots of reasons, but mostly because everyone we knew it was the right thing to do. Oh, did I read that weird? There were lots of reasons, but mostly because everyone knew it was the right thing to do. On the outside, we are all different. But on the inside, we're all the same. And you can see all the hearts. And we remembered that soon spring would come. And it did. Inside, oh, the pages are a little bent. Inside and outside. Oh, and there's a long letter at the end, a long author's note. Does that sound like a familiar story? Look, they baked sourdough beside a laptop. That was familiar to me. I really liked that. I liked all their hearts. And I liked that spring came just like it came here. Super exciting. The weather's really nice today, too. Okay, I have one more story to share with you. And it's called Amy Wu in the Patchwork Dragon. You might remember the book Amy Wu and the Perfect Bow by Kat Zhang. And Charlene Trott did the illustrations. Let's see what Amy is up to now. During story time, Ms. Mary reads Amy's class a book about dragons. Dragons that hoard treasure. Dragons that blow fire. Dragons that fight knights in gleaming armor. Afterward, she tells everyone to make their own dragons. Make them special, she says. Make them yours. Sam draws a dragon with enormous teeth. He crafts the wings from postage stamps. Willa sculpts the dragon with a big fat belly. She strings daisies for the tail. Amy paints a dragon with a long, thin body. It has horns like a stag and claws like an eagle. Are you sure that's a dragon? Asks Sam. It doesn't look like a dragon, adds Willa. It looks like a dragon to me. Let's see what she says. Amy says. Maybe they're right. Amy scribbles with her pencil and doodles with her crayons. She glues beads to the paper and some to her hair. Bits of dragons emerge. Dragons with shiny green scales. Dragons with leathery wings. They look great. They look just like dragons, the dragons in Ms. Mary's book, but none of them work. None of them feel quite right. These dragons are not the dragons that Amy wanted to make. Time to clean up, says Ms. Mary. I'm not done, cries Amy. The rest of the class put their dragons on the show and tell table, but there's nothing from Amy, nothing at all. Willa and Sam come over after school, but Amy can't even smile. Oh dear, says Amy's grandma, why the sad face? So Amy tells her. Her grandma gets a twinkle in her eye. Come, she says, let me tell you a story. She tells them about dragons that bring down the rain. Dragons that are wise and just. Dragons that fly without wings. Amy runs to the attic. She remembers where she got the idea for her dragon. She pulls out something red and yellow, something with a big fat snout and golden horns. A dragon, gasp Sam and Willa. A dragon, agrees Amy. Amy's grandma puts on the costume's head and Amy puts on the tail. Ooh, that's exciting. Together they dance down the attic steps and roar through the house. Maybe you can bring it to school, says Sam. Please, please bring it to school, begs Willa. Says Amy. She thinks about the dragon in Ms. Mary's book. She thinks about the dragons in Grandma's story. Bringing the dragon to class would be great, but there's something missing. Something to make the dragon Amy's. After Sam and Willa go home, Amy begins to plan. She shows the sketches to her family. Will you help me? She asks. Do you think they'll help her? They measure out fabric and cut it into shape. They carve a cardboard frame and fasten the cloth. Amy knots together 3 silk scarves, then adds some beads and some glitter and a little more glitter just because. Ready? Asks Grandma. Amy takes a deep breath. Ready, she says. Amy comes to school with a big paper bag. The other children gather around. Is it your dragon? Asks Willa. Show us, cries Sam. Amy puts on the dragon's head. She invites Willa and Sam beneath the dragon's tail. Together they dance through the classroom and roar between the desks. Everyone cheers. Miss Mary laughs so hard she can't even breathe. Amy's dragon is red and yellow. It has a big fat snout and golden horns. It has enormous green wings and a tail of 3 silk scarves and beads and glitter. Lots of glitter. It works splendidly. It feels just right. It is exactly the dragon Amy wanted to make. And at the end of this book, there's a dragon activity, which is pretty cool. And it talks about the Eastern dragon. It says the Eastern dragon is a symbol of good luck and strength in many cultures. It usually has a long, thin body and no wings. Its horn looks like stag antlers, and its claws look like eagle claws. Its body is covered in scales. Eastern dragons come in many different colors and can have a wide range of magic powers depending on the story. Often, they are very intelligent. Oh, look, here's a Western dragon. It says, Western dragons usually have 4 legs and 1 pair of big leathery wings. Like Eastern dragons, their bodies are covered in scales. But unlike Eastern dragons, they often breathe fire. Stories about Western dragons tend to show them as greedy creatures that live in caves and love treasure. Their horns tend to be sharp and pointy, and their claws look like lizard claws. So those are some differences between Eastern and Western dragons, which is super cool. I didn't know that. Friends, I hope you enjoyed those stories. I will see you again next Friday for Storytime. Bye.